Hearing that solitary roar led our founder, Dr. Harry Wegerfurth, to build one of the most inspiring places on the planet, the San Diego Zoo. That connection between one animal and one human being continues at a place like none other in the world. As one of the world's foremost conservation organizations, the San Diego Zoo is much more than a zoo. With more than 140 crucial conservation projects around the globe, our work is diverse, our reach is far, and our impact is great. Across the wide sprawling savannas of northern Kenya lives one of the world's most iconic species, the giraffe. Shockingly, they are quietly slipping away at an alarming rate.
When it comes to giraffe, we know very little compared to other big, iconic African species such as the lion, elephant, and rhino.
In just 15 years, the reticulated giraffe's population has plummeted by over 70%, with less than 8,000 remaining in the wild. San Diego Zoo Global and our collaborators have spearheaded a 2-year pilot project to find solutions to help save them.
As best we know, it's the combination of poaching for meat as well as habitat loss due to overgrazing and agricultural conversion that are the main reasons for the decline of the reticulated giraffe.
San Diego Zoo Global conservationists like David O'Connor are bridging the gap between people and giraffe to help them coexist and provide a bright future for both.
Because of the shared ecosystem between people and giraffe, it's imperative to understand how both live and what they need to survive.
Collaborating with local communities and using a variety of techniques, David and his colleagues are learning vital information about poaching and land use in areas giraffe roam.
Just like a human fingerprint, each giraffe has a unique coat pattern. And through the use of strategically placed camera traps and pattern recognition software, we're able to identify individual giraffe and then track their movements throughout the landscape.
Tracking giraffe and livestock movement patterns help conservationists understand how much space giraffe need and how giraffe share areas with livestock. With this data, conservationists can send anti-poaching patrols to locations frequented by giraffe and help local herders prevent overgrazing.
This program isn't just about giraffe, but vitally, it's also about people. We're providing jobs and fostering pride in local wildlife, and that provides hope for all.
Working with our partners in Kenya, San Diego Zoo Global is determined to save the beloved giraffe for today, and most importantly, for tomorrow. Our battle to end extinction will continue to be challenging, long, and tireless. But our efforts to save endangered species are working, and we can't do it without your help. Together, we will ensure that the lion's roar will always be heard. Join us as we carry on Dr. Harry's legacy in leading the fight to end extinction, one species at a time.
Which is where you'll find the reptile house, those Galapagos tortoises, the Wegerfurth Bowl for our centennial birthday show. Into that corner over there is the Children's Zoo and Sky Farm East. It's one of 2 entrances for the aerial tram with those blue gondolas you might see in the sky. But now some very important safety reminders. While you're with me today, please keep all beloved body parts, personal belongings, friends, and family inside the bus at all times if you care about them. And if you don't care about them, please try to keep them inside the bus anyhow. Feel free to stand up, just do so safely, which means keeping your feet on the ground and holding on to those silver railings around you. But for all you lovely people upstairs, how about a big wave hello to the camera that is front and center? Hi, hello. I can't see you guys, so don't think you can get away with anything out there, alright? Alright, well here folks, we've reached the Lost Forest. On our right side, we're going to take a peek into Tiger Trail. We do have 3 critically endangered Malayan tigers living with us. Now their exact numbers are up for debate, but everyone can agree it's less than a few thousand. There are actually more of these tigers living here in the U.S. than out in their natural habitat. You'll get to the very upper right-hand corner for those stripes to make an appearance here and there. One of the ways we're working to help these Malayan tigers is by providing a safe breeding ground. So since we began, we have had over 100 tiger cubs born between our two facilities. But of course, we're also working out in Indonesia, spreading awareness and education about these tigers with the local people, and hopefully we can end some of the habitat loss they're facing out there. But this area to the right side, it has that name, the Lost Forest, and as you can see, it does have that dense tree coverage to help create a natural forest feel. And that's because one of the things we've learned over the last century is that our animals do best when their exhibits feel like home. The biggest reason for that, we keep that going all over the zoo with species-specific exhibit designs to help with that breeding process. Because happy animals make baby animals, and everybody loves baby animals, but that's also going to be the only way to unendanger those species. Down around the corner, we enter the Central African rainforest. You're going to be looking in the pool to your right-hand side for our river hippopotamus. Out today is our female Mama Fu, and she is still accompanied by her calf, a not-so-little girl named Debbie, who was born March of last year. Now, Funani here is an extremely successful mother. This is actually the 6th calf that she has had with us, and she is so good at those motherly duties. We didn't know if that baby hippo was a boy or a girl till it was almost 4 months old. She wouldn't let even the keepers anywhere near it to find out its gender. But if you'd like, you can take a stroll through our hippo trail. That glass down there is only 3 inches thick, so you could go home and tell your friends and family that you have been 3 inches from a baby hippo and actually lived to talk about it. I'm just saying, that's some pretty good bragging rights right there. Now, most people do come to our zoo to see all of the incredible animals, but we actually have over twice as many plants as we do animals living with us. That is a total of nearly 7,000 different plant species. So folks, why do you think we would have more plants than animals? Anybody? For food, I heard somebody say it. You're right. Every food chain on this planet starts with a plant or two. We have a very successful food growing program that includes the bamboo on either side of you for those giant pandas, eucalyptus for the koalas, acacia for the giraffes, and so much more. But those programs are so successful that in addition to feeding our animals, we're able to ship plants to other zoos around the country and help them feed their animals as well. Just another way that we can give back as a conservation organization. Down in the valley, you find the African marsh, home to those great white pelicans. But also here on your left-hand side on the sidewalk, you're going to see a large yellow kangaroo-shaped sign. Now that, folks, is one of 4 total kangaroo stops. Our Kangaroo Express bus is designed like a city bus. It's there for your transportation needs. You can hop on and hop off at any of the 4 locations. All you'll need to do to ride for the rest of the day is show the same tickets that got you on this guided bus tour. That's going to get you unlimited rides on that express bus as well. We'll stop at each of those stops every 15 minutes or so. And they're running pretty much up until we close at 6 o'clock. Now you can find them marked on your map with the same yellow kangaroo symbol, but I'll be sure to point them out for you as we continue on our tour. But onwards and upwards we go to the northern frontier. On your left side in the distance, you'll find one of the architectural staples of Balboa Park. That is the beautiful Cabrillo Bridge. Down below the bridge, you'll find Highway 163, which is not nearly as exciting. But if you follow that road about 30 miles northeast, that's going to take you to our sister facility. That is the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Now that began back in the 1960s as a first-of-its-kind breeding facility. It's nearly 20 times the acreage of our zoo down here with giant roaming exhibits. And as the name implies, you can head up there and go on your own safari. You can hop in a caravan truck and drive safely right through Africa. You'll visit animals like to your right-hand side. Through those pine trees, you'll find the stripes of our Grevy's zebras. These scruffy zebras are the largest and most endangered of all the different zebras. Those stripes they have actually function just like human fingerprints, giving them each their own identity. But down here we've got a pair of young bachelors residing with us. We are waiting till these boys are bigger and stronger, but most importantly, less rambunctious before we send them up to join the ladies in the breeding herd at our safari park. Next door to them, the start of the African antelopes and gazelles, and one of many multi-species exhibits that you'll find here at San Diego Zoo. The little guys with the white rear ends closest to us are the Sphinx gazelles. The larger animals with the thin white stripes, those are going to be the lesser kudu. Now, we did pioneer this concept, the multi-species exhibit, and when we did, people thought we were crazy. Why would you put different animals in the same space together? Well, we figured that's how they live out in nature, that it might help again with that breeding process. And clearly something is working there because we do have at least 4 different baby antelope in that exhibit alone. You can feel free to come back later on and try to find them. Now we're going to take a pit stop on the left-hand side here because we have reached polar bear plunge. You can walk through here, you'll find more than just polar bears. There's an Arctic fox, reindeer, diving ducks, a raccoon, and some great photo opportunities as well. But here we do find the largest land carnivore on Earth. Those polar bears. You can feel free to stand up and take a look to the center of the pool. You'll find one of our female polar bears out right now. We actually have 3 of them in total. We've got 1 male, 2 females. But all 3 of our polar bears, they were actually wildlife rescue animals. They were orphaned as cubs and came to us here to their forever home. And we're very happy to be able to help them out. Now, a lot of people wonder how it is these polar bears can live in the beautiful San Diego climate. Well, it's pretty much all they've known, but we do like to replicate an Arctic summer for them, which means that water is chilled to a brisk 50 degrees. And then we do feed them in lower fat diets to help make sure that blood layer stays thin and that they stay nice and comfortable. But out in the wild, does anybody know what a polar bear would eat? Seals, yeah, you're right. As comfortable as she may seem in the water there, polar bears are not as good as swimmers as seals, but they have figured out that if they hunt them out on the polar ice, that's where they've got the upper hand. In addition to hunting, they use the ice for breeding purposes, most of their daily life, and of course, moving. Recent studies have estimated that polar bears spend up to 70% of their life out on the polar ice. 70%. That's a lot of time. So very sadly, it is the melting of that ice that's putting these incredible animals in an extremely vulnerable position. But I do have some good news for you guys. There are some things you can do in your daily life to help them out. That's going to be anything to lower your carbon footprint. So if you'd like, you can join our new challenge that launched on Earth Day this year. You can use the hashtag #StartWithOneThing on social media. And with that, commit to changing just one habit in your daily life. So whether that is carpooling, even just 1 day a week, turning off lights when you leave the room, shortening your showers, recycling, or you guys can steal mine, bringing those reusable grocery bags to the store with you. But each of those changes, even if we do make just one, it's going to add up to have a huge difference in the fight against extinction. To the right side, we head up the hill to where those African antelope. We'll pass by the Montauban, the southern Gerenuk, the Cuvier's gazelles up ahead. But if you folks would like to take your action for all the plants and animals you're seeing today to the next level, you can consider becoming a member of our Wildlife Conservancy. That is the fundraising branch for our nonprofit, San Diego Zoo Global. Donations received there go into funding the many conservation projects we are a part of internationally. Those currently total over 140 projects, and those are taking place in 45 different countries all over the world. To learn more about any of those, or to sign up for that donation program, you can head over to endextinction.org, because that is the main goal, and with your help, that's exactly what our Wildlife Conservancy will continue to work to do, fight to end extinction. At the very top of the hill on the left, you'll see those blue gondolas arriving and departing. That is the other side of the Skyfari. Now, folks, keep in mind, the Skyfari will be the fastest way directly across the zoo. It's just a 4-minute ride, and it's going to run up until we close at 6 o'clock as well. To the right side, one of our 4D theaters. There is another one over in the Children's Zoo if you're interested. Past the 4D theater, we're going to be looking for our maned wolves. Despite that name, maned wolf, they're actually not true wolves. They are in the canid family, but they're in a separate group entirely. We have a pair of sisters living with us, Jamie and Jasmine. As you can see, they're beautiful animals. But most of the time, you're going to smell these two long before you see them. They do mark their territory with their urine, and unfortunately for everyone around them, that urine smells just like a skunk. So if you're up here later on and you get a whiff of that terrible smell, it's them. Absolutely beautiful animals, but they smell really, really bad. On the left side of the road across from them, that yellow kangaroo sign making another appearance. Stop 3 is the great one for the Northern Frontier, but also perfect for Elephant Odyssey. That is where we're headed now. Elephant Odyssey is the largest walk-through exhibit currently within our zoo. Inside here, you're going to find life-size replica statues of long-extinct species. The ones ran around Southern California. But it's essentially a living museum because in addition to those statues, you're going to find their modern-day counterparts as well. The first of those you'll see here to your right-hand side. And it looks like they're doing what they do best, just lying around. No, I'm not lying to ya. Oh, there's one giggle. Perfect. Here we have reached those African lions. So up on the right pedestal, right where she belongs, that's our female. Her name is Atosha. Snoozing on the rock back behind her, that great big mane is on our male. His name is Ombari. But folks, 101 years ago, there was some very exciting stuff going on here in San Diego. Balboa Park was host to the California-Panama Exposition of 1915. Now that's really what put San Diego on the map as a city. People brought plants and animals and goods from all over the world to showcase. But at the end of that year-long adventure, quite a few of them had run out of money. They didn't have the funds to take those things home with them. So one of the things left behind was actually the lion that started our zoo. He was abandoned in a cage right over in Balboa Park. So when Dr. Harry heard that lion roar, that's when he got that idea. What if that animal could have a safe new home? What if the people of San Diego could hear a lion roar every single day? What if I started a zoo? So he found some supporters, they rescued that lion, grabbed a couple of palm trees, a couple of parrots, and that is it. That's all we started with. But here we are, 100 years, 100 acres later. Thanks to people like you, we are able to carry on that same legacy, acting as a sanctuary for animals in need, and of course, we're going to help their wild relatives. Next door, we're going to stick with the big cat theme for a moment. Here you're looking for the beautiful rosette spots of the jaguar. Jaguars are the 3rd largest cat species overall, but they're the largest in the Western Hemisphere, native to Central and South America. Now jaguars are very comfortable swimming in water. They have been seen in the Amazon River hunting crocodiles, but more important to their life are those tree structures. So that behavior you're seeing there, that's a pretty natural one. Snoozing. It's pretty much what cats do best. But more importantly, it's up off the ground. So unlike the lions, jaguars are solitary, which means that their most vulnerable time period is when they're asleep. By being up off the ground, it helps to keep them a little bit safer from any potential threats. This is another threatened species. A very big issue for them is habitat destruction. The slash and burn methods being used throughout South America can clear land to grow crops like coffee, but it results in a lack of trees for those jaguars. Now, if there aren't any coffee drinkers on the bus, I'm sure there are more than a few of you. But if you'd like to help them out every morning with your daily cup of joe, you can make a switch to using shade-grown coffee. I know it seems a little crazy, but those coffee beans are grown in the shade underneath the natural canopy of the rainforest, which allows the habitat to stay in place for all of the animals living there who need it. I found mine on Amazon, no joke, but you can feel free to explore the internet. I'm sure there are plenty of other vendors out there. But by making such a switch, you'll help to communicate to those large coffee companies that you don't want to chop down any more of the rainforest. You want those animals to have a safe place to call home. But folks, here we have reached the namesake to this area. They are the largest land animal on Earth. Our elephants. We did get our first 2 elephants way back in 1923. Their names were Queenie and Empress, and they actually came to San Diego by train. But when they got here, we realized even the best thought out plans can go a little bit sideways. After all their traveling and all of their riding in vehicles, by the time they got here, they were just done. They actually refused to get into the trailer that we were going to use to move them from the train station to the zoo. So Dr. Harry had to get a little creative. He looked over to his head keeper and said, "Well, sir, have you ever ridden an elephant?" And I am not joking. The 2 of them did climb up on the backs of those elephants. They were rescued from a circus. They were already trained for that, but they let them stretch their legs. Rode them through downtown San Diego, over that Cabrillo Bridge we saw, and all the way back here to the zoo. Talk about free advertising, right? Now we currently have a herd of 5 beautiful ladies living with us, but they are the older gals. Our younger breeding herd is up at that safari park. Down here, we are essentially the relaxing retirement home. So because these ladies are a little bit older, they do get some extra special care. Up ahead here, we're going to pass by our Elephant Care Center. And inside here, each of these animals gets a head-to-toe checkup every single day, along with a daily pedicure. Must be nice, right? It's got an open floor plan so our guests can see these keeper-elephant interactions in progress. We do practice what is called protected contact with them. That just means that there is always a physical barrier between these animals and their keepers, simply to ensure everybody's safety. But as we drive by here, take a look to the fencing of all the different holding areas. You'll see tons of gates and openings. Those allow our elephants to actively participate in all their daily medical care. So they'll present their feet to their keepers for those pedicures. They can also give them their ears for a voluntary blood draw, just like you do when you go to the doctor. All of that is positive reinforcement training based, which means it's completely voluntary on their part. If they don't feel like doing something, they don't have to. They can walk away and we'll try it again later, keeping it short, sweet, and positive. But by making it positive, that also helps to ensure that these animals have a trusting bond with their keepers, but also our veterinary staff. Now, as leaders in animal care and welfare, we do share everything we learn about our elephants and our other animals with different zoos in hopes of creating a standard of even better animal care throughout all those different facilities. Now, not that you need one, but if you're looking for an excuse to come back and visit these beautiful ladies later on, right across our elephant yards to your right side here, you'll find some brown umbrellas in the distance. That is the eating area for our Sabertooth Grill. Now, all the food served there is locally sourced to California, which is great for local economies, also the environment. Plus, these beautiful elephants are going to be your view while you dine, and I'm not really sure how many places you can find that. Up ahead next door, we'll find the dromedary camels. Now again, folks, this area is the largest walkthrough exhibit. There are plenty of species that we can't see from our bus road, so if you have the time and the energy later on, I highly recommend coming back to take a stroll through this area and see what else you can find. But we are just about 3/4 of the way through this tour. This is usually when people start to fall asleep on me, so it is now time for you guys to interact with me. Let's see a show of hands. Who loves animals? Excellent, all of you. That's good, you're at the zoo. All right, take two. Who loves plants? About half as many people. That's pretty normal. Now I know plants are not as exciting as animals. They are just not. But they are equally important. So on the right hand side, at the very front of the bus, it's big, it's tall, it's green, it's bushy. It looks like any other plant, right? That's an endangered species. So it's not just animals that can be threatened and endangered. Plants can be too. This is the Tecate cypress. It's actually native to this region. It's only found from Baja California up to Orange County. It's endangered from all the wildfires we've been having for the last decade or so. But it's especially important because it's a host plant for an endangered butterfly as well. It's actually the only plant that butterfly lays its eggs on. So the fate of those two species are completely linked. Fall is prime fire season for Southern California. So if you're going to be sticking around and visiting us, or if you're local, we just ask you to listen to Smokey the Bear. He was a very wise cartoon. You can practice safety when using fire out the wilderness. Never leave a fire unattended. And for the locals, you can clear your backyards of brush. All of that is going to lower the risk that we have any of those fires during these drier fall months. But past the cypress, we have reached my favorite bird in the entire zoo. They are an impressive scavenger bird with a wingspan reaching up to 12 feet. For a frame of reference, that's wider than this bus. Oh, big bird. These are the California condors. Now folks, the true reason that they are my favorite bird is because they're one of the greatest success stories we have in the fight against extinction. Back in the early 1980s, there were only 22 of these birds left. 22 in the entire world. So we got permission from U.S. Fish and Wildlife with the help of the LA Zoo and our Wildlife Conservancy. We actually brought all 22 of those birds under our care. We essentially made them extinct in the wild on purpose because we didn't know what else to do. It was the last attempt to try to save them. We set up a specialized breeding facility at our safari park, helped with that breeding process, ensured baby birds made it to adulthood, and then we worked on a re-release program. And now folks, I'm so very happy to share with you that in 2016, we now have over 460 California condors. And the best part is that over half of those birds are flying free and reproducing naturally all on their own. It's a pretty wonderful story. You guys can cheer if you want to. Woo! No one? Thank you. 3 people, 4 people. I know. It's exciting. Thanks for humoring me. If you do want to learn more about that California Condor Recovery Program, there's a kangaroo stop right here next door to them. But just by being here today, you're helping out projects like that one, but all kinds of others as well. You can give yourself a pat on the back if you'd like. But from 22 to over 400, that's a huge step in the right direction. But we're not out of the woods just yet. One of the biggest struggles for scavenger species is poisoning. They're going to eat pretty much anything they can find. So if you'd like to help them out in that daily life of yours, you can avoid littering just by putting trash in the correct bins and recycling what you can. All of that's going to lower the risk if they ingest anything too terrible for them. To our right side here, passing by our little buddy Timon. For any meerkat fans on board, look at them all. Something's going on. They are all standing guard right there in the center. These guys are about half the size of your average house cat. Being so teeny tiny, that does make them an easy snack for everyone else. So as you can see, they're always on guard for any potential threat. If they're not on guard, they're going to be working hard to help out the family in another way. Whether that is digging tunnels, finding food, or helping to raise the 3 baby meerkats we had born earlier this year. Next door to them here, we're going to pass by our African rock copie. This is another walkthrough area. Inside here you'll find the African serval cats, along with dwarf mongoose, rock hyrax, klipspringer, and 2 different aviaries that are up and running for you guys. So you can think of that area as a starting point. A little sneak preview of what's to come in this giant construction project right next door. So this canyon down to your right-hand side, this is actually the largest construction project in zoo history. That canyon is over 8 acres that, as you will see, has been completely demolished, and we are starting from scratch. This new area, Africa Rocks, is going to open just under a year from now, next summer, 2017. The main point will be to showcase the diversity found throughout the continent of Africa. So all kinds of plants and animals found there and only there. That's going to include, but is certainly not limited to, the animals you're seeing featured on this banner as we drive by. One of those you'll find is the African penguin. Now, African penguins are having a very hard time in the wild right now. Breeding colonies are not very successful, so we're going to try to help them out. We are setting up our own breeding colony for African penguins right here at the San Diego Zoo. Do you guys know what that means? Baby penguins. They are coming for you. Are you excited? You should be. How cute are baby penguins? I don't know. We're gonna find out. But hopefully, once we get some solid numbers of those African penguins here, just like we did with the California condors, we'll work to reintroduce birds back out into their natural habitat to increase the numbers there. In the meantime, though, if you'd like to see them today, you can head over to our children's zoo. We do have a few of them right next to the 4D theater that's over there. To our right side here, passing by the first half of our Australian outback, you can take a look to the center of these utilitarians for everybody's favorite, Little Gray Fuzzy Marsupial. What is it, you guys? Koala. You are right. This side here has all of our females and their joeys. We'll get a much better view of our males as we exit our urban jungle, but first we get to take a trip through here and see what else we can find. Directly in front of us, you'll find that yellow kangaroo sign making its final appearance on this tour. That is Kangaroo Stack 1. It is the closest, where I'm going to drop you off at in just a little while. It's also going to be the closest to the exit. Just some important things to keep in mind for later on today. But up here on your left, we're going to find the tallest land mammal on Earth. Here we have Maasai giraffes. And actually, the tallest individual is coming right for you guys. Tall, dark, and handsome there. That is Silver. Silver is our very successful father. Now he's standing just under 17 feet tall. For everyone upstairs, our bus is only 15 feet tall, which means that Silver's head could reach right over the top of the railing upstairs, and he could give you a nice slobbery kiss with that 17-inch long tongue of his. Because, oh yeah, for every foot that giraffe is tall, their tongue is 1 inch long. Gross. Now Silver was once again a proud new daddy. Over on the other side of the rocks, you'll find a comparatively small baby giraffe. That little boy, born just over 3 months ago. His mom Harriet gave birth to him after a 15-month pregnancy. He stood 6 feet tall, weighed 146 pounds when he was born. So any moms on board? It could have been worse. You could have been a giraffe. I'm just saying. You're pregnant for over a year, and that baby is the size of a high school basketball player. Yeah, no thank you. Females do give birth standing up, which means that little baby experienced a 6-foot drop instantly upon birth. And welcome to the world. I was lucky enough to get to see it in person this time, and let me tell you, it is pretty brutal. But don't you worry, everybody's safe, and it actually breaks their umbilical cord to get them breathing on their own. Now our giraffes, along with the other animals in this urban jungle, they are all actually animal ambassadors for the zoo. That means that they are able to interact with the public, share their stories, give people a hands-on connection to wildlife. To our left side here, one of our best friend pairs, you've got Zari, the Grant's zebra, accompanied by that miniature Mediterranean donkey. Her name is Sophia Loren. And those two, and some of the other animals you'll see here, they do participate in our behind-the-scenes interactive experience. That is Backstage Pass. With that, of course, you're going to go behind the scenes. You're going to meet these animals, get some incredible photos, but you're also going to learn about them from the experts who work with them every single day. Now, if anyone would like more info on Backstage Pass, or if you'd like to sign up for a later date, you can head over to Guest Services before you leave, or head over to our website, sandiegozooglobal.org. You can find all the same information there. So coming up next to the left-hand side ahead of us, we're going to reach one of my favorite exhibits in the entire zoo. This is the Buddy System exhibit, which is home to our cheetah dog companion pairs. Surprising as it may seem, the very first animal ambassador in zoo history was actually a cheetah. He was a donation animal from a very wealthy couple in New York City who thought that a cheetah could be a good house cat. They used to take him on walks through Central Park. That's real. That happened. Now they quickly learned that cheetahs are not good house cats for a variety of reasons. If you were considering that lifestyle change, here are just a few for you. 1, they get pretty big. 2, nice sharp teeth. 3, they're pretty expensive to feed. And 4, most importantly, their claws don't retract. Not ideal for a Manhattan Penthouse. So they did donate him to us here at the San Diego Zoo. But by the time he got here, he was so well behaved from all those Central Park adventures, he was able to accompany our zoo director at the time on her different education and speaking events around the county. And he became our very first animal ambassador. That tradition continues today, both here at the zoo and up at our safari park. But if you head up there, we do have a cheetah run program, where you can see a cheetah run top speed down a racetrack. It's absolutely amazing. But if you get there early enough, you will find that their companion dog does run the track first to show them that it's safe and sound to keep those cheetahs nice and comfortable out on that run. To the right side there, on the greater one-horned rhinoceros boys, we have 2 juvenile males living with us, Jayu and Juzan. Over to the left side here. This time we're looking for those male koalas. They're a little more territorial than the females. They don't like to share their trees, so we do give them each their own bachelor pad. Feel free to take a look in each of these as we drive by. We got our first 2 koalas back in the 1920s. They were actually a gift from the children of Australia to the children of San Diego. That gift made us the first zoo outside of Australia to have koalas, which all on its own was extremely exciting. But it got even better because those 2 koalas have the cutest names in the history of animals here at the zoo. Are you guys ready? Their names were Cuddle Pie and Snuggle Pie. That is Cuddles and Snuggles, the koalas. Just trying to tell me that's not the cutest thing you've heard today. I know you can't, it's precious. But since Cuddles and Snuggles joined us, our koala family has grown to be the largest collection of koalas that are living outside of Australia. They do participate in breeding loan programs with other zoos as part of our species survival plans. Those work to ensure healthy and genetically diverse populations of those different endangered animals through all of the AZA accredited zoos, so that they can continue to be ambassadors for their species, research, and conservation. But it's not just koalas that are part of those. Pretty much all the animals here are. Since we began, we've successfully bred over 165 different endangered species. But to take it a step further, we've been able to reintroduce over 40 of those back out into their natural habitat. Now just up ahead, we are going to reach our unloading dock. But before we get there, down to your right-hand side, you'll see a road that is Center Street. It's important because it's home to all the bears. Walking down that hill, you'll pass by the Andean bears, our grizzly bear brothers. But at the bottom of that hill is where you're going to find the pandas right now. Panda Canyon, you'll see on the map, closed for construction. Pandas are relocated to the bottom of Center Street. But here we go, finding that unloading dock, which means our time together is coming to a bittersweet end. On this journey, you guys have heard some of what we've been up to for the last 100 years. Going into the next century, we are going to continue to learn from the animals living here so we can help their wild relatives. But as a nonprofit, we can't do all that we're doing without you guys. I know San Diego is full of fun stuff to do. You could have done something else today, but you chose to spend your day with us. We are so very grateful. Seriously, thank you so much for helping to support us today. Just by walking in those front gates, you are already a hero for wildlife. But if you'd like, you can take some of those action steps I mentioned, whether it is saving water, recycling, or just being an informed consumer. Those kinds of things are going to help make sure this planet and everything on it stays right where it is for generations to come. So I do hope you guys roar with us into the future. Now while we're here, a few directions for you guys. As you exit the bus, going to the right-hand side, that's where you'll find the closest restroom. Past that, that'll take you over to Front Street to go see the reptile house, the children's zoo, or catch a ride on that Sky-Fari aerial tram over to the other side of the zoo. If you're afraid of heights like me, you can exit the bus to the left-hand side, go back to catch a ride on that Kangaroo Express bus.